Good afternoon. I want to thank all of our partners being here today, Edina Police Department, Minnetonka Police Department, the ATF, Commissioner Jeff Lundy, and our Hennepin Health EMS. This morning at 11:20 a.m., I received a call that every law enforcement leader fears of getting. Officer down. Today at approximately 11:18 a.m., Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies were attempting an arrest warrant in the city of Minnetonka. While serving the warrant, one deputy was injured by gunfire involving an armed individual. That deputy was transported to the hospital for treatment for non-life-threatening injuries, yet very serious injuries. A second deputy was treated for injuries on scene as a result of the gunfire and was released on scene. The armed individual died on scene. I just returned from the hospital where I visited our deputy, his family, other deputies, as well as law enforcement from various agencies. In my talking with the family and our injured deputy, I cannot begin to tell you the emotions that are going on right now. Multiple law enforcement agencies were present at the scene to assist. The Minnetonka Police Department Chief is here today and will present additional information on the incident status. The BCA, who is also here with us today, is actively investigating this case, and Superintendent Drew Evans will speak later as well. Assaults against law enforcement are becoming increasingly common in Minnesota. They have doubled since 2017. This has got to stop. Every single day, first responders are rushing to help others, helping to keep our communities safe. They do not deserve to be threatened. They do not deserve to be assaulted. They do not deserve to be killed for doing their job of trying to keep the community safe. We know that there's a risk that we may not make it home to our families. And I don't say that very lightly, because I will tell you, I tell my family, I promise my family, I will come home to them every day. It's not a promise that should be broken by any of our first responders. Yet the heroes in law enforcement, they still answer the call, they still show up. A thankless job a lot of times. We are so glad that both of our deputies injured today will live. But then we never talk about the unseen wounds that these type of incidents, these unnecessary incidents, have on us. Thank you. And next you'll hear from Minnetonka Chief Berboom.
Thank you, Sheriff. As the Sheriff mentioned, my name is Scott Berboom. I'm the police chief in the city of Minnetonka. And at about 11:20 a.m., our officers received a request to respond to an address in our city to assist the Sheriff's office, who was trying to serve an arrest warrant. And there was at some point an exchange of gunfire. So there was an officer help call put out, and agencies from all over the West Metro converged on our city. Our officers arrived and were able to remove the injured officer from the scene, and the officer was transported to an area hospital. Unfortunately, the scene is still active in this moment. It is contained. There's no threat to the safety of the area around. However, it's still very active, and I don't have any more details to share about the scene. At this point, I'd like to introduce Superintendent Drew Evans with the BCA.
Thanks, Chief. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Drew Evans. I'm the superintendent at the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. And I, unfortunately, am here before you again today talking about police officers in the state of Minnesota that have been shot, which has been far too many over the past 15 months in our state. Luckily, we're talking about police officers that are going to recover and didn't die doing their job. But as part of that, the Sheriff's Office, because as was noted, They returned fire as this individual fired at them. And so they requested our BCA Force Investigations Unit to conduct an investigation in the totality as to the investigation as to what occurred, what led up to the events, what led to the deputies being shot in this instance, and then what led to the deceased individual, the facts surrounding that. In this particular case, what we will be doing is our Force Investigations team will be out on scene once the scene is actually secured. As Chief noted, that it is still active and they're still in the process of clearing that scene and making it safe. They're being abundantly cautious in that process so that we ensure that nobody else is injured in this particular incident going forward. Once that scene is safe, our BCA agents and crime scene personnel will be on scene gathering evidence, the forensic evidence that's at the scene. We will be talking to witnesses in the area. We will be gathering video, both from the deputy's body-worn camera and surrounding areas, along with any video that might be in the neighborhood. We certainly would like to hear from anybody that witnessed the incident that occurred today or heard anything about it or the events leading up to this. We're in the very preliminary stages of this investigation. As was noted, this was as a part of executing a warrant on an individual who was wanted. We are still in the process of determining the identity of the deceased person. An autopsy will be conducted once we're able to get into the scene and by the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office. Once that occurs, there will be an identification of that individual. We know you have a lot of questions about what occurred, and I just need to say at the outset, we'll be happy to answer some questions, but there's so much that we're still in the process of gathering and we'll be working on, and in the coming days, we will provide additional information to you once we're able to confirm exactly what occurred. And with that, I'd be happy to take a few questions for us, the chief and the sheriff.
You said, or I think the sheriff said that the armed individual is deceased. Can you tell us, I mean, was he shot? How did he die? And also, was he wearing body armor?
Well, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner will be the one to make the determination as to the cause and manner of death. We believe at this time that it was from gunfire, but we have not determined the exact sequence as to whether or not how that happened. So we will be in the process of doing that. As noted, it's really difficult for us to say because the scene is still active. And so until our investigators and agents can get in, I would be remiss to not say that we still need to determine that. So we haven't seen him in the scene yet. We're not in the scene. So once we're in the scene, we believe he was shot. During this, we don't know who shot him.
Were there more than one person in the home at the time? And when you say the second part, when you say active situation inside the home right now that is still active, does that mean there's other potential danger in the house? So start with, were there more than one person and then the danger in the
As Chief Burun said, that they believe it's contained at this time. We don't believe in terms of that they're in the process of clearing right now. We don't believe other individuals are involved, but they are still in the process of clearing that right now.
How many shots were fired at deputies first?
We don't have that information yet. That'll be part of the investigation.
How many deputies originally went out to execute that warrant?
I don't know that I have. Yeah, we're still in the process of determining that. You know, certainly there were several police officers throughout the course of this incident, and we'll be ascertaining the exact number as that. But it was part of an, routine work that they do every day, as the sheriff noted, going out trying to apprehend those individuals that are wanted in Hennepin County, which is one of the duties of the sheriff's office.
The two deputies that were injured, one's an 8-year veteran, the other is a 21-year veteran. I could tell you they were both loved. They are both loved. They both have families, but they are good deputies that were doing their job.
Is there any other details you can share about them at this time?
Not at this time.
You said one of the deputies was injured as a result of gunfire, so he was not shot. I just wanted to clarify that.
He was not hit. He was not shot.
Can you say what did happen?
Right now, until there's more investigation, I would rather give you all the facts rather than giving you a quick answer. And so I want to make sure that we're factual. What is important is he was injured in the course of his duties. How is not the most important thing. He was injured. And that's what I want to put emphasis on.
Can you talk about or what they consider the high risk situation going into it?
You know, there'll be a lot more facts that are coming out right now. You know, the preliminary information we have is they were looking for a wanted individual related to a felony warrant at the home. We'll provide additional details on that as we confirm that as part of the investigation.
Do you believe that the person that died at the home is connected to that warrant, or is that still undetermined?
It's still to be determined. It's a good question. We are in the process of trying to determine the identity of the individual that's deceased. We certainly know the identity of the individual they were looking for, and we need to determine whether or not those are the same person.
Is anyone in custody?
Nobody is in custody at this time, no.
Sheriff, was this in a team, was it a task force, or was it just a few deputies working in patrol?
This is a part of our patrol unit. That's a part of our emergency services unit, to be specific, and that is a part of their job. They do execute warrants as a team, not necessarily a task force.
Does that change how they approach the home? You know, can you walk through a little bit how the deputies would prepare to approach serving this warrant?
I can tell you that no incident is the same. I can tell you that they do their homework before they're executing these dangerous course of their jobs. So to know what the specifics and what was done for this specific incident, I don't have that information for you now, but I will say that they're well trained, and they, whenever given the opportunity, there's planning that goes into each incident to ensure that it's done in the most safe and professional manner.
Sheriff, how hard is it on law enforcement, and maybe when this keeps happening? You said, 15 months when you saw Burnsville, a lot of people immediately thought of that. Does it start to really take its toll, and is it hard to do your job when you know that's there, or is that always something?
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard to do this job, but somebody has to do it. And we should want to make sure that the people that keep answering this call are well equipped, well supported, knowledgeable in the things that they do. We've been talking about for quite some time now the shortages that all law enforcement agencies are experiencing. And it's these type of incidents that's only one of the factors as to what's making it so hard for us to recruit right now and to retain. Again, we all make promises to go home to our family, and then when you see something like this, how does it not just affect us that are wearing these uniforms, but our loved ones? So yes, to answer your question, it makes it quite difficult every time we're dealing with this.
Is the deputy that's hospitalized right now the one with the 21 years or 8 years experience?
He's the one with the 8 years experience.
And are they both male officers
Yes,
who were hurt? And then
deputies. They're both
deputies.
male deputies, yes.
And then are the roads opened up around the hospital now?
Well, because I'm here, I would not know that, so I'm not sure.
Superintendent, can you be more specific about the felony charge?
Yeah. In the coming days, we're going to provide you a lot more information once we confirm it. We're only a couple hours into this investigation. I know you want that information. We will get it to you. We just need to confirm all that information. And our agents and our crime scene team will be working diligently through the night to get that information, and we'll release additional information in the coming days.
What is the best way to describe, the most accurate way to describe this interaction between the deputies and the suspect?
Again, this is part of the active investigation. What we do know is that this individual fired at the deputies and that they returned fire, and that's part of the investigation, and we will work through the exact sequencing of that and what that looks like and provide information in the coming days.
Just to confirm on that, you said suspect shot at the deputy, they returned fire.
Again, we are working through the specific sequencing right now. We certainly know that the individual fired at the deputies. We have a deputy that was shot, and we know that they returned fire. We will work through the specific sequencing as to what that looks like, and we will provide you that information as soon as we can confirm it. That's part of the active investigation. We'll provide that information as we uncover it as well.
We saw the show of support over in the hospital. What is that like to see that support that continues to show up when something like this happens?
It was emotional. It was refreshing to see that. People continuously ask, what do you need? And my response is, sometimes you don't know what you need. So if you see something that needs to be done, just do it. Talk to people. hug people. Oh, you know, everybody responds differently to these type of things, and some people respond sooner, some respond later. So just that showmanship of showing up and knowing that you have that support system in place is it's invaluable. We were very happy to see that our brothers and sisters from various agencies were showing up to the hospital, as well as calling, texting, and the question is what do you need? And when you're actively going through it, sometimes, again, you just don't know what you need. But I can tell you, embracing that support that we're seeing is very helpful to us, as well as our deputies.
Superintendent, maybe what kind of weapon might have been recovered? A pistol or a rifle?
Again, the scene's still active. They haven't completely cleared it, so we'll provide additional information what we recovered at the time. So I think with that, that'll be it for us. We really appreciate you being here, and thank you for taking the time.
All right, you have been listening into the news conference discussing what happened, the incident in Minnetonka today, listening to, at times, a very incredibly emotional Hennepin County Sheriff DeWanna Witt, understandably emotional, talking about two of her deputies that were injured in this incident today. What we can tell you is we actually didn't learn a whole lot more than we already knew. The two deputies were injured, one of them by gunfire, taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening but very serious injuries, she said. The suspect is dead. That other deputy has been treated and released. We do know that multiple agencies did respond to this, including Minnetonka, who did confirm that there was an exchange of gunfire between the officers and the suspect. We don't know yet, though, if the suspect was shot by the officers or maybe have taken his own life. All we do know is that suspect is dead. We don't know why the officers were there serving the warrant. We just know that it was a felony warrant. We don't know who the suspect was. We do know that it was an 8-year veteran and a 21-year veteran of the Hennepin County Sheriff's Department that were injured. The 8-year veteran is the one that is in the hospital. Again, they keep saying this is an active investigation, but there is no threat to the public. We will have updated information just as soon as it becomes available, of course, right here on air and all of our digital pages, including KARE11.com. We will be